Maybe the best podcast.
Maybe the best podcast. Maybe the best podcast. Yo, we taking off. We taking off.
That's the one.
Oh, man.
Maybe the best podcast.
Welcome back, family and friends, to Maybe the Best Podcast, Season 2, Episode 8.
Maybe.
I am Vern Diddy, a.k.a. The Hot Dad, alongside my compadres.
Hello, Lulu. I'm back.
Twenty, the student, tonight. What's happening, y'all?
No AKAs.
Who you getting ready for this March Madness tournament that we got for the R&B singers, okay?
I like that idea. I think I picked the strongest vocalist bracket. My bracket got the strongest vocalist, so it's going to be hard. But I think Johnny Gill going to come out on top.
I picked Johnny to run away with it, too. But I'm hoping next week we'll have the Sweet 16 set and we'll start the tournament next episode.
I like it. I like it.
I'm going to tell you this about Michael. Even though I do agree, I do honestly think Michael is a very underrated vocalist. Michael Jackson.
I give Mike credit up until like...
I think he's a very underrated. I think he's a very... First off, what's up, YouTube?
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody out there on SoundCloud and all the platforms listening to us. We thank you guys. And as always, tonight is whatever, man. Whatever, man.
Whatever, man. Pretty much.
Like it's Michael. It's Michael.
Michael
What do you
was never praised for his
underrated
vocal
or
ability.
overrated?
I think Mike is
Michael's never
overrated.
praised for his vocal ability. He's always praised for his entertainment, but he's actually never praised for like his singing ability. And the dude actually had
He
a
can
really
sing.
good
Yes.
singing voice.
Yes.
See, and I would argue that. I say once Michael transitioned, and I think I really believe it started with the nose changes. And people say, well, you shouldn't sing from your nose anyways. But I think when Mike went from having a black nose to a white nose, he went from a black sound to a white sound. And so it just sounds, it lacks the soul that he had in the first 3 albums.
Yeah.
His first 3 albums, Mike could sing to me.
Yes.
Or even going back to
And
Mike
so
as
Human Nature was...
Yeah, Mike in his youth could really sing.
I mean, I still feel like he could sing as his career continued, but he changed with the times. Like when he...
Fam.
I feel like he changed with the times, but his voice was still the same. I mean, I didn't like his newer stuff, but I still listened to it.
Nah, as the times...
He was still doing that.
Yeah, Mike wasn't doing that like when he was black. Like when...
He went from wee, like, doing that run.
Like there
But
was...
it's still Michael. It's still Michael.
Yeah, but see, you believe that's Michael because that's the Michael that...
How many people could pick Chris Brown non-singing ass?
You know what? I think... And I didn't pick
No,
Chris.
okay.
Chris wasn't in my top 16.
Okay.
Only because there's some really strong vocalists, and I didn't even put Keith Sweat on the... I got reminded of Keith Sweat today, and I was like, he wasn't one of my favorites, but whatever. Chris Brown is one of those people that I think is severely underrated vocally.
Who?
Chris Brown.
No way.
Like if you listen to
The guy still sounds like, yo.
No, if you listen to the meat of his albums, like Chris Brown can fucking sing, bro.
I can't give you
But it's being overshadowed because of his
Entertainment
actions.
values.
So are we saying the same thing
No,
about
not
Michael?
that.
So, I mean, obviously, that would make sense. We would have that conversation because Chris Brown is the closest thing to Michael all around.
Yeah.
All around,
We've
yes.
had this conversation on last season's episode. But out of all of them, Lloyd, Usher, and all the Offsprings, I think Chris Brown
Was
embodies.
Lloyd on there?
Lloyd is on the
was.
list.
Lloyd was in the last.
I need to vote for
The thing
him.
is, Lloyd is one of my favorite vocalists, but I do think he's an offspring of Michael, so I was like, I gotta just put Michael in there. I think Michael was my second to last choice. Or last
Okay.
choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't like, nah. Yeah, nah.
It's some names on that list.
Name the list, man. For those, hey, listen. So for
Yeah,
those
the
out
list.
there, listening,
I can pull it up real
and-
quick.
Yeah, on YouTube. If you follow our group page, Maybe the Best Podcast group,
Yes.
live, if you can do that right now. If you follow that, we have a poll up in honor, obviously, of March Madness getting ready to start.
Yes.
College basketball. Shout out to anybody that got a college team out there. But
Wait, real quick, did you guys hear about the UConn game? I saw a little bit of it.
Where they went on like a 38-0
Oh
run.
my god.
man, that's crazy. We gonna.
So women's college basketball went to 4 quarters now as opposed to the 2
I
halves.
heard that.
Yeah.
So that's why. Okay. Damn, they better stop.
The team they were
That's
playing
bad.
did not score at all in the second quarter.
That's bad. That's bad. Like,
Well,
they don't
the
need to
first
get
quarter
Gino
they
no
didn't
full
score
court.
anything, and then the second one I think they scored 5. No, the first quarter they scored 5.
They scored
and then
5 and
and
they
then the
scored
second one
nothing.
the second one they scored nothing.
Yeah,
So
so
I don't even know why they giving Gino 4 quarters. But anyway, so listen, go to Maybe the Best Podcast group page. There's a poll up there right now in honor of March Madness where it's the best vocalist, right? So
Yeah.
Best male vocalist of all time.
All right,
Of
yes.
all time.
So
So
it
you can
is
pick your bracket.
the R&B male vocalist tournament. All right. So there's Bruno Mars.
You put Bruno Mars in there.
Bruno
You snuck him in there because I ain't.
Mars. No, Bruno Mars is on there.
He's my vote. Okay. I'm on.
Okay, Bruno Mars, Trey Songz, John Legend,
Mm-hmm.
Music Soul Child, R. Kelly.
What? R. Kelly is. That boy vocals is stupid. You better stop. You know, I put R. Kelly up there with Rick James. Why is Rick James not on here?
I forgot.
Rick James.
It's so
was
many
one of-
people.
Rick James was one of the strongest vocalists ever in R&B. Ever.
All right.
Fire and Desire. I just forgot about that. Rick James and R. Kelly, just because of the type of music they made.
Yeah.
Man, them dudes can sing, man. What?
All right.
I agree. My fault.
Michael
No,
Jackson,
Okay.
Maxwell,
Ooh.
Justin Timberlake, Usher, Luther Vandross,
Whoa.
Marvin Gaye,
That's my guy.
Sam Cooke,
Change gonna come.
Joe, Johnny Gill, Al Green,
Johnny.
Chris Brown, Mr. Biggs,
This is Mr. B.
How you doing, Mr. Big?
For the elders out there, we know who we talking about.
Prince, Cisco.
We got to talk about that one.
Which one?
Prince,
Why?
to the man that middle name is such. Prince was not a good vocalist.
Shit, you
At
shit
all.
me.
Why?
What do you mean? Why? Purple Rain was probably the best vocal performer. I don't really think Prince was. I think his vocal ability, if you want to judge him, he's right up there with Michael as far as it goes. I don't really think. I mean, what? Vocal wise, Prince can sing. Really?
Yeah.
This is what we talk about this tournament, right?
Look, yeah, I mean, this is what it's going to boil down to.
SANG.
Yeah, and that's why I put Prince on the list because Prince is a personal favorite.
Fair
He's
enough.
It
my
got
favorite
2
artist of
votes.
all time.
Yeah, Vern and
But-
someone else.
Yeah, I did vote for Prince, but I know he ain't gonna make it to the final 4.
Little red
All right.
Corvette.
So there's Cisco,
Hey, strong. Cisco strong. Y'all better stop.
Division, Robin Thicke.
You want to put Division in that early? You think Division is that good that early? Really?
Yes.
I think 2 albums is qualification.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Avant, Otis Redding, Raphael
Sadiq, yes.
Sadiq, Babyface,
Smooth Raphael is smooth. He's a smooth vocal.
Eddie Kane Jr.
Eddie Kane
I should
Jr.
have picked Eddie Kane, but I couldn't pick him because I already had my pick. Eddie Kane Jr. was the guy.
Smokey Robinson, Stevie
sure.
Wonder,
Nah, Altuan, I can't agree with you.
David Ruffin.
Good songs, but
David
Genuine.
Ruffin.
Ruffin. Sorry, I
Genuine.
don't speak English. Genuine.
another really good.
Teddy
underrated-
Pendergrass.
Put her ass down.
Pendergrass. D'Angelo. Anthony Hamilton.
D'Angelo was not a good vocalist. All he did was sing in falsetto his whole career.
Lou Rawls.
Hey, shout out to the only vote of Anthony Hamilton. That's my guy.
I put Anthony
Shout
Hamilton
out
on
to
there for you.
Antoine Clark. Thank you.
I said if I don't put music in Anthony Hamilton, Tuan gonna kill me.
Lou Rawls.
Okay.
Aaron Hall.
Yes.
Ray Charles. Barry White. Bobby Womack. Lionel
And
Richie.
Aaron Hall didn't get a vote.
And Lloyd. Yeah.
But see, I
they
put
didn't get
Aaron Hall
a
right up
vote-
there with
a
R.
vote.
Kelly, and it was like if I got to pick one, I'm taking R.
Yeah, true. I feel
So.
you. I feel you.
I miss you.
So a little bit about that. Did you vote? A little?
Yeah. But
All
I
right.
didn't pick my 16. I still have to.
All right, give me something you picked. Just something.
I did pick Bruno.
Okay. Bruno Mars is
I did pick Trey. I did pick John Legend. I need to pick music.
I would not be surprised to see Trey make a huge run
I did Justin.
because
Yes.
Trey can fuck up the game. Like
Man, listen, you already know how
Just
we was
talent-wise.
on Trey, from the beginning. I think he's lost a little bit of that mojo that he had from the first couple albums. That's just-
in regards to
No.
how great he makes songs, sure,
Right,
but not
right.
vocal ability. Vocal
No.
ability, he's actually gotten better.
Yes.
Yeah, he's
So.
he's probably one of the best, for real.
Yeah, he is.
For real.
So we'll get to that next week, guys. So we look
Yes,
we look
we will.
forward
I
to
can't wait for that.
being online with you guys.
Now-
Now, for the 325 members that we have in the group, and we still haven't made it to our 100 subscribers on YouTube yet, I'm just saying it's $200 worth of gift cards floating out there. Let's make this happen as quickly as possible.
So listen, one of my favorite players, not necessarily people, I guess I'm learning him as a person as he is now leaving the game. But the Academy Awards was this past weekend, right?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, and I woke up. I was at a getaway this past weekend, but I was intoxicated the whole time. But I woke up
Nice.
the next morning to a beautiful sound of an acceptance speech by Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bean.
Jelly Bean, Brian.
Winning again
That's
without
all
Shaq.
That's all he do.
You motherfuckers.
That's one.
Winning again
Hey.
without Shaq.
That's one more than Michael and LeBron combined.
Come on now. Listen,
Yeah.
I just want to tell everybody this. For all you wannabe analysts out there on ESPN and other platforms that was swearing up and down that Kobe Bryant would be lost without basketball and not believing this man when this man said, I left it all out there. It cost me an Achilles. I have nothing else.
Yeah.
Listening to this man and denying what this man is saying. And I just think what I want to talk about is the beauty of his lock-in. And how he said it's better than the championship because he worked and dreamed for a championship. But this was something that people was doubting. And even himself was doubting.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what do you think about, and then, you get the idiots out there trying to throw slights about his rape case. Like, oh, Michael never been charged for rape. He still wins in my book. Like, whack stuff like that.
Yeah.
But just from the positive side, man, what can you, say about, Kobe Bryant transitioning into film writing,
Yeah.
and then for an animation, and people got to really understand with the Oscars, right? Because Eminem has an Oscar, but it was for best song. 3 6 Mafia, they have an Oscar, so we really have to be careful when we're upset about who doesn't have an Oscar and who doesn't, because it's different categories. I mean, you can get out, but anyways, so I mean, you guys speak on it.
Yeah, if I can just touch on the rape situation with permission, of course, because I don't want to, touch on anything without permission. I think that came up with the whole Me Too movement and everything that has been happening in Hollywood. So of course it's only right to, since you're already digging up dirt from people from decades ago.
Yeah.
Hey, remember this happened to Kobe over 10 years ago? Let's bring this back up again. Even though the case was dismissed, the woman dropped all charges and she backed off of it once we found out that, we don't know for sure. We know Kobe's story, we know her version of the story of what took place, but then when we found samples of multiple men's semen in her underwear, we was like, whoa, this bitch is kind of disgusting. She still could have been raped, but she's still kind of nasty, because if Kobe was the only one in the room with her that night and you got one set of panties with 8 different semen samples in there, bitch, you nasty.
Right.
So, of course, you got to bring that shit up and just bring it all together. But that's neither here nor there. I think everyone just tries to tear down people that are becoming successful in an area where they don't feel you belong. Anytime you don't belong in our room, in our building, in our venue, we'll find that one thing to tear you down. So I'm happy for Kobe, and I think the one thing that was on display in all of this, and I think is what you were alluding to, and if you followed Kobe, if you watched him his entire
20.
career,
all 20.
One of the
shit sharp on right.
Yeah,
all 20.
One of the things you know about Kobe is Kobe does have this laser-like focus that just can't be rattled. Period. The one incident that I think about is the Matt Barnes Kobe.
They showed that there was the anniversary yesterday.
Yeah, where Matt Barnes faked like he was gonna throw the ball at Kobe, and Kobe just like, what's up, little nigga? You know what I mean? Like, he's so locked into what he's doing, nothing rattles him at all. And so when he did leave the game, I even had my concerns. Like, this is all Kobe knew. But of course, Kobe took that same mentality and was like, all right, cool, done with basketball, focusing on these capital ventures. He has a couple firms that he's working with one of his partners, where they're in Silicon Valley doing startup companies with their own capital. You know what I mean? Like, this is Kobe's money and his partner's money that they're helping build new ventures with. And then, of course, this animated short, rather. And then he had been doing some stuff for the NBA as well.
Yeah, he's getting ready to come out with a show later on this month on ESPN called Detail.
Okay.
Which it's basically, and like he said, it's not for the casual fan. It's for the basketball head. It's for the basketball players.
Yeah.
Where he's actually going to be breaking down film from the eyes of that player. So, for example, Damian Lillard, and so he'll break down what Damian Lillard needs to do against OKC's defense.
Yeah.
And he'll break it down from the eyes of that. So that is something I can't wait for, because that is what I think I always thought Bean would leave from the game.
You're gonna love it. Just a quick insight before I pass it over to you, Lulu. On 2K, Kobe was brought into 2K recently. He shot some segments, and he does some commentary for the game. And so, in the midst of the commentary for a video game, they're like, Kobe, what was some of the quirks about you as a player going up? And he was like, how I would just study. I'd be in the film room and I'd study, and it was always to see what type of advantages I would have on the court. And he was like, I'll watch the film, and if I see something happen once, twice, 3 times, now it's a pattern. So now I know how to anticipate these certain things. He talks about a time where he played Reggie Miller in the preseason. He played a one-on-one game with Reggie in the preseason. And he said, I'm gonna really break down this man's game, because I have a feeling I might see this guy in the finals one day. It ended up being the same year. He ended up seeing Reggie later on in the finals. And he said because he spent so much time with Reggie one-on-one, he knew what he could take when Reggie was guarding him in the game. He was like, I know what he'll give me. I know what he won't give me, so I know where to go to. Shaq fouled out of the game. Kobe went nuts, carried them to the victory. And it's things like that happen,
Throughout the course.
150 days prior to them going to the NBA Finals and winning it against Reggie. Those little details, are the things that make Kobe special.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, he's dope.
I didn't even know he had an animated film or anything like that, so I don't know anything about it, but I do think it's great that he's finding things outside of basketball, because I think that's a lot of concerns with just athletes in general.
Yeah.
When they retire, what are they going to fall back on? A lot of these guys don't have a college education where they can go and be an accountant or whatever they have their degree in, and a lot of them, most of the times, are not going to go and get these commentating jobs either.
Right.
So it's like when you leave, you're done, and it's like you have to go out there and survive and figure out what to do. So good for him, that he did this animated film. I don't know what it's about.
It's called Dear Basketball, and it's just basically a letter to himself as a kid, like a grown Kobe talking to a young Kobe.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
They played it on the night of his retirement. In closing, I'll say the reason why I wasn't worried is because he spoke about when he hurt his Achilles.
Yeah.
And how that is what made him hone in on what to do after basketball. Because he was like, oh shit, this literally could be it. This could be it for me. And so I think once I heard that, that's all he got to tell me. That's like the precedent he set for me as a fan. Was just like when Bean said something, like it was what it was. Like it just was what it was. It was law for me because I knew he had that level of lock-in.
Yeah.
So, when we talk competitively, this is the reason why I can't put the best all-around player in the game up there competitively. It's just, 5 minutes left, we down 10. We had Kobe. I just did not feel we would lose until the game was over. So that's, shout out to my boy, man. We wanted to give Bean some love on the podcast. I know you Kobe Bryant fans hating it. Y'all probably just paused me and everything.
Well, LeBron is going to do Space Jam 2.
Okay, well, can I just say something real quick about LeBron?
Let's talk about some basketball.
No,
it's about to be the end of the season.
So let me say this, okay? I am a former LeBron hater.
Okay.
I was driving to Tallahassee Monday night, and when I was driving, I watched the documentary on Netflix about LeBron and how he, where his beginnings came from.
Interviews and documentaries always make you like something.
Yeah, and it wasn't just about him. It was that team that he was with. Like, he started off in that league, and then it was
just the kid from Akron.
St. Mary St. Joseph School.
Mm-hmm.
And I have just so much more respect for this guy. I always say, oh, he's arrogant, I can't stand him, this and that. But just watching this documentary and watching his humble beginnings and whatnot, I have so much respect for this guy. So,
do you think his what they call it, the black experience?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he exaggerates a little bit?
What, that his rent was
regarding
$30 a month or something?
I think he exaggerates a bit.
Nah, I think his talent just supersedes everything that he had to endure, and maybe it led to it. I think sometimes when we look at a person's arrogance or anything in life, I think we have anything that we look at questionably. I think we have to ask the question, but why?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Kanye said, I I use the hate against me or the self doubt to power this engine that goes. And so y'all see somebody that's full of esteem or arrogant, but really it's just somebody that's trying to make it through. And you perceive it as arrogance, but it's like, yo, you don't know what I had to come from. You don't know what I had to go through to get here. I had so many no's and so many closed doors. So when I did make it, I feel triumphant. I feel like, motherfucker, I'm here, and y'all need to know that I'm here because I just had 1,000 no's told to me. I was told a million times that I wasn't gonna make it. And here I am, so fuck y'all. I'm the best ever.
Well, I think
that's fair.
I think he knew that he was gonna make it because while he was playing at his high school, his St. Mary St. Joseph, whatever it's called, he got a lot of exposure from it. Like, it was him and a group of guys on the team, and they started when they were younger in the league. And he said that he was like the first kid on Sports Illustrated or something. And so because of that, like, he got a lot of exposure, and his name was out there, and scouts and whatnot. Like, they were selling out the school games that they had to eventually move them to bigger stadiums, like college ones, and they were still selling out. So
I mean, we were high school students at that time, and I remember it would have been our senior year in high school, LeBron's junior year. They said had he come out that year, he would have been the number 1 pick in the NBA draft.
That's crazy.
Foregoing his senior year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, LeBron was that good. They talked about...
Shout out, bro. See, I turned off my music tuning.
Yeah, they talked about the potential of, like, LeBron being... I mean, they talked about Amari and how Amari wasn't there where LeBron was. Like, LeBron was so special.
Yeah.
I mean, we heard about him, Carmelo, and all these guys early, but I think anybody that's 6'6", 6'7", as a 15-year-old, you have that crazy growth spurt, you get here, and you were already pretty good at basketball.
Yeah.
You add a 6'7" guy that's pretty good at basketball as a 15-year-old, you're likely gonna make it.
Yeah.
I think,
but anything could have gone wrong as well.
Right.
Anything.
I think with me, and segueing into the NBA a little bit, especially what he's doing now, we will never see a guy come out with so much hype and literally live up to that hype.
For sure.
Like, kill it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I think he will go down as the best all-around basketball player of all time. But that is to be argued from other people as far as absolute best. Me personally, I wouldn't give him best just from a competitive edge standpoint. But we could get into that. But let's talk about a little bit about the NBA right now, Cleveland. Why in the hell do people think Cleveland's going to win the East?
I don't know.
Team? They're not going to win it.
No.
Let's put it like this.
No.
Because of what you just said. LeBron is... No, because...
not.
No, whether they will or not, the reason why people
see where
believe
the
it is
standing
because
is.
LeBron has done enough to generate that kind of hype.
No, he has not surpassed it.
He has
5 losses in the chip. 5.
He carried a team to the NBA Finals that had no business being in the NBA Finals.
I blame that on Detroit.
In the mid-2000s, right?
I blame that on the arrogant Detroit. A bored Detroit.
Sure, but LeBron was the guy that went for 25 straight points.
Yeah, man, Chauncey mentioned that last night on TV. So
yeah, like
Cleveland's number 3 right now.
yeah, but look at how many games separate 3 and 8 in the East.
Yeah,
and they go on a 2-game losing streak, so they in 7th place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think ultimately there's the doubt when you look at Boston.
We're gonna go to the live in a minute.
Like there's some holes in Boston's game.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
They struggle offensively a lot. They're the number 1 defense in the NBA, but they struggle offensively from time to time.
Hopefully they don't lose Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, if you lose Jaylen Brown, it's good night. They're done. You also have Washington in the mix, Toronto in the mix. Washington has some flaws. Toronto, I don't think they have many flaws at all.
I think they ready this year.
DeMar DeRozan is actually, he's transcending from just a perennial all-star to, this kid's a superstar. Like he's right there knocking at the door like, yo, no, I'm one of the best players in the NBA. And so I think we have to start looking at this guy with top 10 consideration current NBA players.
Yeah. Why can't the Magic go through?
Oh shit.
I'm just kidding. They suck.
Let me ask you this question.
Fuck you, man.
Let's go to the live.
I'm trying to play the stupid girl
It
like that.
says, it says they are. Boston not deep. Toronto chokes. The only real threat is Washington. This is my overview of why Cleveland will not win the East. Lack of experience. They have too many people that when the playoffs come will not know. Okay, put it like this. They have too many people in important positions that when the playoffs come will not capitalize on those certain moments. Okay? Is TT going to start or is Larry Nance Jr. going to start? Jordan Clarkson and J.R. Smith are your two guards, and Rodney Hood are your two guards for the whole playoff run. These are your two guards.
Yeah.
Okay, your point guard is who? No disrespect.
It is the kid that they just got from Utah.
George Hill.
George Hill, yeah.
Right. See, but
Not kid. He's grown up.
Right. So my thing is this. All right, you have George Hill, playoff experience. But in those moments, and we know the moments that we're talking about, ain't nobody gonna tell me that as the third seed, that they're gonna go through Boston in the second round, Toronto, and then to the
Yeah. Well, LeBron just.
their bench isn't even.
You could have kept it very simple and said this is the first time LeBron will try to advance to the NBA Finals without a number 2 that also has a big pair of cojones.
And people got to realize that. See, it was a reason why he went to a young team when he went back to Cleveland. He had motherfucking Kyrie Irving out there.
Yeah.
There is nobody on that team that can drop 25 anytime you want them to.
Right.
No one. And that, to me, is the difference. Outside of if you compare 07.
It should be Rodney Hood, but.
Right. If you compare 2007 to now in the path, you're talking about everybody in the East, probably since that time, is the most competitive. There will not be one team in the East that has a losing record making the playoffs, right? Okay? So if you compare 07 to this team, 07 actually had more experienced players on their team for LeBron to get his shit off.
Yeah.
There is not enough experience at the spots that they need them to, in my opinion, to make it all the way to the playoffs. I mean, all the way to the finals.
I took Boston Golden State to start the season, so Boston Golden State are still my picks. And unless Jaylen Brown is done, I'm still taking Golden State, even with Houston flexing their muscles and showing that they are a legitimate competition.
17 win streak, they still only one game up.
Right. I mean, that just goes to show how well Golden State is also playing. They're being underrated right now as a team that's going to win 65 games. Like that just goes to show how well Houston is playing.
Yeah.
Real quick before we wrap up this segment.
Yeah.
Who's your MVP?
James Harden.
Lulu?
Anthony Davis.
I like that pick.
We can pick this up next segment. My MVP is James Harden.
All right. We'll be right back, y'all.
Maybe the best podcast.
What's happening, YouTube, man? Welcome back to another second segment, episode 8. We in here just talking about whatever, man.
Whatever, man.
So before we get into the Trump mess and a post I seen on Facebook today from my boy, we're going to finish talking about this MVP race.
Yes.
You said something interesting. You said Anthony Davis.
Yes.
Is that DeAntoine? How would you pronounce it? I don't want to mispronounce my man's name.
Daytwan?
Daytwan. Okay. My dog Daytwan on the live says Greek Freak is the MVP.
Okay.
Right? We both said James Harden.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think this is, honestly, for me, it's one of those MVPs where he came into the year where it was James Harden's to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He lost it to Steph. Then he lost it to a close Russ.
Mm-hmm.
So it was his to lose. And I think if they hold on to the number 1 seed,
Mm-hmm.
it will solidify it. Why do you say Anthony Davis? That's an interesting one. Now, remember a couple years ago when the Pelicans were in the playoffs as the 8th seed against Golden State, the projection was Anthony Davis was going to be MVP the next year.
Yeah.
And then obviously dealing with injury as of last night as well.
Okay.
So, why would you say he's MVP?
All
And
right.
this is not the first time I've heard this.
Okay, so I do want to
Daytona.
just throw out there, like, my sport is football. Recently, like, I've watched basketball, but recently this season is when I started getting more into it.
No problem.
So just from what I've seen recently, I feel like okay, so because DeMarcus Cousins was injured,
Makes
I feel
sense.
like when he went in there, it was his time to shine. Like, isn't he averaging like 28, 29 points right now?
More than that.
Since
right?
Boogie went down, it's through the
It's
roof.
crazy.
Yeah.
They're on a 10-game win streak too.
So I feel like he was ready for it, and he proved and showed his true potential when DeMarcus Cousins got injured, and he just letting everybody know now, like, I'm a threat. I've always been a threat, and you're gonna see it this season.
Is there a such thing as a late MVP charge? Can one make a late MVP charge?
Yes, if the door was left open, but I don't think James Harden left the door open. Like, he would actually have to be injured and not finish the rest of the season for the door to become ajar for anyone else. I think this is where the Kevin Durant to Golden State deal has probably helped out James Harden, because now you have two great players that are, taking
They're always
away.
going to cancel each other out.
Yeah, even if they're both averaging over 25 points per game, which is unreal for two star players on the same team. But they canceled each other out. You have Russ on the verge of averaging a triple double again, but it's like, all right, cool. But Russ, now you have Melo and you got Paul George, and your triple double still means absolutely nothing. What do you truly bring in regards to value?
I think that's coaching, bro. I don't give a damn what nobody say. Nobody still has put Russell Westbrook in a system.
Right, but if you put...
He has no plan. When he comes up court, there's no plan. James Harden, you know what D'Antoni gave James Harden a couple years ago? A plan.
Yeah, but I believe
he has
that
a plan when he brings the ball.
I believe that if you put a great coach with Russell Westbrook wouldn't average near a triple double either.
He doesn't need to.
Exactly, but I'm saying, so when you look at the numbers and you want to give him a reason for being an MVP, you would look at it and say, damn, this guy's he's damn near averaging a triple double again this season with 9.7 rebounds, but there's no value behind it. So then you look at what guys are adding value. I do look at Anthony Davis. The guy said last week or the week before, he said, I feel like I have to drop 40 and 20 every game ever since Boogie went down. I feel like I have to do that to give us a chance to win.
But what mentality did he cite when he said that?
I don't remember.
Russell Westbrook.
Oh, yeah.
So
you're right.
This is my thing, right? Kobe Bryant is just a prolific scorer without Phil putting him in a plan. Michael Jordan, and they probably have one. They probably have, I'm going to be real with you. He has more final losses.
I have something to say too. It has to do with basketball.
Okay. He has more finals losses. Michael Jordan and Kobe has more finals losses than wins without the triangle.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is this. D'Antoni came in to Houston and he gave James Harden a plan, meaning that when he brings the ball up, he surveys the floor. Okay, I got my pick and roll. In my opinion, Russell Westbrook and Steven Adams should be leading the league in pick and rolls. Should be leading the league. There's Billy Donovan doesn't put him in any. He just go remote control. Like Billy Donovan has been treating Russell Westbrook how every coach has been treating Russell Westbrook.
How every coach treats LeBron James. When you have a player that's just that good, it's hard. James, it really is hard.
LeBron James' intellect is what separates him.
True.
Okay? So I don't think LeBron James' intellect allows him to have a great coach, which is why he has 5 final losses. Because every team he lost to had a system. So all I'm saying is, systematically, he hasn't really been put into anything. For him to average a triple-double just based on the strength, to me, is impressive.
Yeah.
So when people say, oh, it's hard to play with Russell Westbrook and it's hard to play with anybody of that talent that you don't center it. You have to center. He still hasn't been centered to say, oh, okay, Russ, here's the plan. When you come up, survey that we're going to put this guy over here, this guy over here. I don't see no sets, them running no sets with Melo. I don't see Billy Donovan calling those sets out with Melo. The guys out here just playing free ball.
Yeah.
You know, so for me personally, you know, going back to the MVP talk, I think the MVP should go to the best player in the game.
Yeah. I think that even with James Harden being number 2.
We got to answer this question.
James Harden is number 2 all time in regards to 10 plus turnovers in a games. Only behind Russell Westbrook, who has 8, and James Harden has 7.
And that's not a coincidence that that stat is more recent than of all time.
Well, I think pace of play in the NBA is through the roof. So when you look at points per possession, this is when you look at advanced stats and say, yeah, you're gonna get 10 turnovers in the game easy.
And that's why I was trying to tell people in the group that we're in. I'm like, this stat is just like the night before that was posted, right? In our sports group, I was watching the Houston game, and they were showing the most 3-point attempts in NBA history of all time.
Yeah, Houston is shitting on everyone.
They had about 6. I think they had about 6 teams up there. 2 was like Houston or whatever. Every team was nothing further than 2016.
Of course.
So come on, like that's
the game.
Exactly. That's telling right there. So
yeah.
I mean, we can push the argument in regards to why I don't do that. Can this person play in this era type of stuff?
Yeah.
Because dudes is getting off right now.
Yeah. But could James play in the era? Yes. James Harden also has a 50-point triple-double game. That to me is
You know the
just
reason
so
why
impressive.
You know the reason why I feel James Harden could play in the 90s era? I won't say 80s, but in the 90s era? Because he has a move. You had to have a move because of hand checking.
Yeah.
So he has a move, but I don't think he'll be.
And just because slow-mo exists in our era, and we get to see things right away, at Wesley on the ground is the best thing ever. It's the most disrespectful shit. When he crossed him and he dropped him, he licks his lips before he steps back and hits that three, bro.
He say they just swagging out and hooping. Let's go to the live real quick. It says, question, how long before Lonzo averages a triple-double? Go ahead.
Never. Next.
It depends. If LeBron joins them, it's going to be at least 5 years because LeBron will retire in 3. If not, then I can see it happening within 3 years. If Brandon Ingram continues on the trajectory he's going, like you'll have a nice running mate, and you got to bring back Julius Randle. You bring him back in, then yeah, I think it's possible. It'll be 11 points,
I don't like him. I don't care.
12 assists, 10 rebounds, triple-double.
Right.
But
And I'm glad we're talking about my boy Lonzo.
I mean, we're not
Well,
really.
I just want to say this real quick. So the
Go ahead.
the Celtics did clinch the playoff spot. They beat
Shout
the
out
Timberwolves.
shout out to the Celtics. Toronto clinched the playoff spot last night.
Did D Rose play tonight, or did he not for the T Wolves?
Let me see. Kyrie got 23 points.
While she's looking that up, this is the thing about what people got to understand. In the last 5 or 6 years,
D Rose can show get a check.
yeah, boy, we have been spoiled by point guards that average 25 points a game. Since Chris Paul, Lonzo is the most pure point guard that has came into the NBA. And matter of fact, pure.
I'm trying to think of all the point guards in the NBA, but go ahead.
Pure. When I'm talking about little intangible things like just moving the rock up the court. Like things that you just got to be entrenched in the game to understand. Somebody asked me
Who
today.
did you ask?
Derrick Rose. He
No,
just signed.
No, he didn't. No.
Somebody asked me today how many will Lonzo. I will be
He was
surprised
on the bench.
if Lonzo at best averages 17. But what Lonzo will be, as Jason Kidd was a lot of times, the best player on the court a lot of times without shooting the ball a lot of times, without scoring a lot. So
Keep going. I'm just trying to think. Is there another point guard?
It's not. You can't name him. So what I see from Lonzo, I don't think Lonzo will ever average a triple-double. I think he will be close, and I think it'll be something like he'll average a triple-double for like a month or 2.
That's why I said never.
You know, but I don't think he would. I mean, hell, it's special what Russell is doing. But I mean, he's capable because, you know, like my man Daytwan said, he damn near now. He said, I see Lonzo in person, man. He moves so smooth and controlled, but don't forget Rondo. Rondo's my favorite point guard.
Can we not count John Wall?
No, we cannot count John Wall. Not when actually they're playing more efficient without the motherfucker. And his team's throwing shots at him about it. We can't say John Wall. I'll give Rondo because Rondo's my favorite point, and watch what Rondo do in these playoffs.
Okay.
Watch what he do.
And we're not going to count LeBron as a point guard, even though that's what he is.
No.
Okay.
LeBron has great vision.
And he did come in before Chris Paul, so.
Exactly. And LeBron has great vision for his position, but he ain't no damn point guard.
Man, LeBron James has great vision for an NBA player, period.
He say, don't forget Rondo. We can say Rondo. And I don't even know, because Rondo ain't got a shot. That boy out there shooting that thing. He just had to get used to the range. That's it. And that double stop that he was doing.
I'm going to go ahead and say you're right, bro. I got nobody else. I mean, Ricky
Not
Rubio
for what
is
a
the
point guard is.
Yeah.
Ricky Rubio's just coming
Oh,
along.
and
Yeah.
Rubio.
Nah, Ricky Rubio, I can't give it to him. He's a bum. He's just coming along. Ricky Rubio just coming along. All this time he done been in the league. He's a bum. I'm giving it to Ricky Rubio. I mean, he's not a bum.
Michael Conley?
No.
Okay.
Not pure point guard.
Okay.
Michael Conley put up 21 a game. I'm talking about like,
Chris Paul could put up 21 a game.
Listen.
He chooses not to.
listen, what did you say? And you know I'm not into Chris Paul. That's why I said since Chris Paul. You know I'm not into advanced stats.
Mm-hmm.
But come on, bro. Plus 24.
Oh.
Plus 24?
Look,
Like, anytime he's on the court, he is not the reason why you're losing. Like, man, come on, man.
But
we
here's
gotta know this.
here's the thing, and I know there's a lot of people that will go out of their way to defend this man.
Who?
But one thing I can count on with Chris Paul is them not making it to the NBA Finals. Because no matter how many good players you put around this guy, he will find a way to either get injured
Okay.
or choke up a game when it matters the most. And that's why I got to continue to put Golden State ahead. Because James Harden isn't ready to carry the load on his own. We saw that last year. And now you got Chris Paul, who is going to choke it up for you. Nah, I'm good.
I just don't think, and I'm gonna be honest. I
feel like his grandfather got to die again, but he's already dead.
You bad.
Oh
you
my
bad.
gosh.
For me personally, bro, I just don't think that D'Antoni. Now I'll tell you this: this is the best defensive team that D'Antoni has had, and that's not an understatement. Like, this team plays D, bro. PJ Tucker, Trevor Ariza, Clint Capella. Hell, James Harden out there actually playing defense.
Yeah.
Chris Paul, we all know his defensive prowess. So these guys actually have a core that can play some defense. But when 51% of your shots come from three, you're not going anywhere but a loss in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
Because all that you're doing, when it slows down, this is where I think Houston may have the edge.
I was about to say, I remember people saying that about Golden State a couple years.
Hold on. But what I said before that year ended, what I retracted my statement with.
You retracted?
They play defense.
They were number one defense in the NBA.
And Houston still don't play defense. Our Golden State was playing defense that
Yeah.
year. They still ain't out there in nobody's chest. They don't have no defensive player of the year candidate. Like, Draymond comes alive.
I thought you were about to say Kevin Durant, because
Yeah, no,
Kevin Durant out there D'ing niggas up.
And that's another thing too. But these boys come alive, and I just think the separation would have to be the bench.
Yes.
You know, I don't know if Caspi and Swaggy P and, so the separation would have to be the bench. The bench would have to come in there knowing we have to win this series.
Yeah.
And that's the only way they're going to win it, because they're not going to win it 5-on-5. Not going to win it 5-on-5.
Well,
or not even 7-on-7.
We know Mike is going to play James Harden 40 to 45 minutes a game come playoff
his
time.
Rotations go to 8.
So
his rotations go to 8. So, again, I think the only edge they may have is their bench.
yeah. So. What else did we have? Chop.
I mean, the live.
Oh, the live, we're live. Kawhi, man, Kawhi's standing on Spurs.
Yeah.
That's smoke.
Popovich is.
Yeah, that's smoke.
I feel like
He's gonna take care of it.
he's backed into a corner. He has to now. I don't think you can give that guy a supermax anymore. I don't think you should even offer him a supermax. Challenge his ass. Like, nah, yo bitch ass held out yourself during the season, so much so that Jordan Brand was like, nah, nigga, we gonna offer you this, and that's what it's gonna be. He hurt a lot of his stock by not being out there on the court.
But I don't believe none of those reports, man. The man was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
They said he was cleared to play, and he chose not to. Now, I get why you would do that in a contract year, but that's another reason. When you're in a contract year, that's when you don't hold yourself out. If you can get out there and play and you really, really love the game, you go out there and you play this game, especially when you're considered a top 3 player in the NBA. We were talking about Kawhi Leonard last year, only behind LeBron and Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's that good. I know when Kawhi locks in offensively, he's better than they give him credit for being defensively, because they say he's the best two-way player in the NBA, and I think his defensive numbers aren't really... Advanced stats show something completely different, bro.
When it comes to defense, you can't give me no advanced stats.
Look,
you can give me that team defense.
I don't think...
I watch how a player guards someone.
Yeah, I don't think Kawhi's locked down like that. I think Kevin Durant is going to give you 35 no matter what.
I mean...
Like,
the problem is, it's not about
Bruce Bowen wouldn't allow that shit.
No, Bruce Bowen would still get 35, but you're shooting 35 shots.
Yeah.
That's the problem. So it's about making the player uncomfortable. Yeah, you got 30 on me, but you had to shoot 28 times. That's not your game.
Mm-hmm.
You want 30 on 15 shots, not 28 shots.
Right.
So that's what Kawhi does. Man, Kawhi got that D.
Doesn't matter that the Spurs.
No, because this might be the first time in 15 years that they don't win 50 games. So...
Yeah, as long as they keep the playoff streak, they're fine.
Yeah.
I guess, but that's a pretty incredible streak. Not just respectable, incredible streak. The only time prior that they didn't reach 50 was the time it was a lockout season, and on pace they would have blown past the 50 mark. So, the Spurs, that organization is incredible, man.
Incredible.
Greg Popovich is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Greg Popovich for president.
Hell
I said
yeah.
it.
Speaking of president,
Oh
man,
my
you are dope and right on
gosh.
time with your segues, boy.
Hey.
You don't see this man, he a professional out here. He a professional out here. Real quick, we just gonna touch on him real quick.
I ain't
So
touching on
he
him.
was
Prez,
touching on her.
Prezi, look at you. Prezi, Stormy Daniels, little scandal.
DJ 45.
What you, Lulu, thoughts?
I just don't like that they're trying to discredit this lady because she's a porn star. They're trying to say that she can't make these accusations against the president. So what if you work in the sex industry? Who cares? Going back to the Kobe thing, they found a bunch of semen on the girl's underwear. Okay, so because they found a bunch of semen on her underwear, she can't report rape? I don't get it. Like, if this happened to her, then she should be able to be comfortable and say something. I mean, this isn't the first report anyways with him that he's came out to.
He gotta pay up.
There you go. This isn't the first accusation against him.
You think she got a dick pic? If she got a dick pic, it's over.
I mean, you probably have to zoom in or something.
Damn, Daniel.
Do you think politicians send dick pics? Yeah, they do.
Yes, they do.
Anthony Weiner.
I was just about to say that.
That guy.
Men that send dick pics, man, unsolicited dick pics. Y'all gotta stop this shit. And even when they're solicited,
please stop it.
even when they're solicited, you should question yourself, and you should take the picture, and before you hit send, go jerk off, and just rub it out, finish it, and then when you come to your clear thoughts, you'll probably delete the picture. Yeah, this bitch don't need to see my dick. You know what I'm saying? And just delete it. Because dick pics ain't the business. I mean, mind you, no matter how...
I just think women have more anatomy to where they don't just have to send a pussy pic. Like, what a dude gonna send a picture of his back? Like, oh, girl, look at my back. Look at these muscles on my back.
Yeah,
like,
look,
y'all can send booby pics, little flirty booby pics.
Shoulder pics.
You can send a booty pic. You know, guys don't have an option.
I think women do lust for men in the same way that we lust for them. Like, I think women don't mind seeing a little chest cleavage or a little sweat glistening off you in a tank top or some shit like that. You just, you know what I'm saying? You just send shit, you could send a fully clothed, you put on a fucking suit and a nice tie and you clean and you take that picture. I guarantee you, you send that picture to your girl, she like, hey, what's up? I can't wait to come home and undress you. Like, so.
He said, I live with a bunch of girls. After they get dick pics, they show their friends and talk about it.
Yes, we do. We do.
Out there, man, no unsolicited dick pics.
Look,
and social media age is so real today. Like, you don't want to do that. They screenshot and shit.
Look, I'm proud of my penis, but I don't know what my future holds and what I want to do in the future. And so I don't want anyone, like, disqualifying me because my penis is out there.
Well, also, too, don't show your face. That's like the number one rule. Do not show your face.
I think the other thing is to get in front of this shit. You know what I mean? When it's like, oh, sex scandal, hop right in front of that shit. Like, sex scandal? No, I fucked her. What are you talking about? It's not a scandal. Yeah. I fucked her. I cheated on my wife with her. What are you talking about?
You know, if I was a publicist...
I'm a human being.
Right.
This is what we do.
And the thing is that's the problem. People don't get in front of things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of times. Sometimes...
So you think he got behind it?
You are on point tonight.
I'm just trying to figure this out.
I do agree with you. Obviously, that's just classic. Classic mainstream media doing it. It's probably the goal that they went with the Bean case too. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to really harp on this multiple semen because that was found through the investigation.
Yeah.
So that was it, but it could have been a thing to where it's like, okay, we saw that, all right, boom, let's ride on this and discredit her all the way through.
Because I feel like that's most of the time with women, and that's why women don't report rapes, because it's like somebody will report a rape and then they'll find something and spin it to what their motive is. You know, like the whole Jameis Winston case. Oh, you know, she was only doing it for money because she knew he was going to go into the NFL type thing. You know, it's...
Or you can be drunk and drugged and get raped behind a dumpster, and then your perpetrator only gets 30 days in jail.
There you go.
So then it's like, well, what the fuck am I reporting it for if this is all that's going to happen?
Exactly.
Brock Turner.
Bitch.
So yeah, I do agree with you as far as discrediting goes, and I mean, shit, that's all white politicians. He ain't did nothing different. You know, these dudes pay for pussy all the time. They can't get it.
Nah, I think it goes back to what Charlie Sheen said. So famously said, like Charlie Sheen once famously said, "I don't pay for sex. I pay for you to leave." You know what I mean? Like
he said, I don't know if Derrick Rose raped that chick, but I know Trump did.
True, but I mean, when we talk about people that pay for sex, one, if you are an honest person, we all know every single guy pays for the pussy.
Yes.
Movie. Yeah, it's
dinner,
date nights. Mm-hmm. It's the expensive colognes. Like if you don't wear cologne on your own because like you just like smelling good, if it's all to attract a woman,
I don't need to.
Look, in the same way, I think there's some women that really love to wear makeups and dress a certain way because it pleases them.
Yeah.
But the majority of women do it because I feel attractive to other people. I feel like I would attract a certain type of person if I present myself in this way. You know what I mean? Those extra things that you do to set yourself up in that position to attract another person is paying for that attention.
Yeah.
Like my girl came through in fucking sweats. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, sure, she already bagged me, but like she would have bagged me like this. I'm a natural beauty type of guy. Like every woman that I've been with is just naturally beautiful. They don't really have to do anything excessive.
Yeah.
But in a perfect world, even if I'm just courting you, I would prefer to just bring you back to the crib, sit on the couch, watch some TV, play video games. I don't want to do anything extra, but the fact that I do sometimes have to take you out, buy you nice things, like that's paying for the pussy, man. I'm sorry, it is what it is. So some of us are like, you know what, let's just cut the bullshit, bitch. Here's $200, suck my dick, and then leave. Like that's what it is. And I think that's a good thing. Like prostitution is a very good thing.
But when you take me out on a date, we're dating. I'm not going out to being an escort. I'm not an escort.
It's not an escort, but it's okay. What he's saying is, in theory and in principle, no, you're not purposely saying here for this.
Because at the same time, too, you could pay for all that stuff, and that's not going to happen that night or the next night.
It doesn't matter. It's in regards to in theory.
We go for the long play, baby.
Exactly. It's in theory and principle, because let me tell you this, and I've said this on another episode. There's nothing you guys have to do except sound smart and look pretty. For us,
you ain't even got to sound smart to
and
most of us.
And you don't even have to look pretty.
That too.
There we go.
So you just got to have a vagina from birth.
There you go.
From birth. Because trannies are women too.
Man, fuck out of here.
Fuck out of here.
I say that.
Trans women are women.
I was told girls get dolled up to stun on other girls. I know that.
Some of that too, yeah.
I know that. Why y'all do that?
Why do y'all do that?
Stun on these bitches tonight.
Because
niggas do that too.
We feel good.
Fuck you niggas up with these white shoes. Like, what happened to?
I'm gonna tell you something that I told our good friend.
We want to feel good.
Alton. I said, man, don't worry about stunting on these niggas. Stunt on your motherfucking self. When you wake up in the morning, you like, yo, I gotta go get this fresh outfit, the fresh cut, whatever. Do that shit to stunt on your motherfucking self, because yesterday you was this amazing. So today, just be this amazing plus. Stunt on yourself. Fuck what them other niggas is doing.
Yeah.
Fuck what them bitches is doing. Do that shit so when you walk out, you feel the most amazing you can possibly feel, and just know that you own the space that you moving in.
Man, I think you can't close it no better than that.
We out of here. Oh, we out of here.
Yeah, man.
Wait, real quick.
Hey, the women on point. You've been on point with the jokes and the segment. I mean, I gotta get
I want to say a quick shout out to my sister. Today's International Women's Day, and
let's get a Lulu Says out real quick.
I want to shout her out. You know, she had my nephew on Friday on the 2nd.
Congratulations.
And such a trooper. I want to be like her when I have a baby. 24 hours in labor. Not once did she complain or anything. You know, they had to do an emergency C-section on her, and she was a little upset, but her mentality was, I want to meet my son.
Yeah. And
she went to the C-section, found nothing. Such a trooper. Beautiful, healthy baby boy.
Shout out to you, Q.
Absolutely, man. Shout out to the fam.
Q Pew.
Yeah.
Formerly Pew.
Formerly Pew.
You know.
Formerly
hey, listen,
Pew.
man. We love y'all. Please subscribe. Remember, man, we're doing this $200 giveaway for 100 subscribers. So please make sure you like, share, comment, catch us on everything, man. We
subscribe.
Everything.
Subscribe. Peace.
Maybe the best podcast.
When I was young, I always wanted to be famous. I'd fuck 200,000 bitches on a sleigh bed. Not all at once, but if I could, I would, I swear, yeah. Just like the fuck a lot, big pun, I'm not a player. Okay, now I've been on some other shit with my bad bitch thicker than Southern grits. We fucking and we get to the money, fuck all that sucker shit. I've been on a hell of a run, I need a ship. This bitch is pussy out of this world, straight from a mothership. I've been on my ET and being broke is foreign in my 30s. There's nothing you can say today that hurt me. Just sit back and observe me. Pop the top off this bottle. Vevin bacon for breakfast and getting top from a model. Bitch, I'm cool. Bitch, I'm bad. And if I die tomorrow, them bitch niggas would be glad. So I plan to be right back. It's only right they hate it. And if I had to fuck a give, I wouldn't. I can't fake it. So bitch niggas gotta take
All I
it.
know is getting to and bagging up that moolah. And if they try to stop it, press that Glock to their medulla. These niggas never measure up when fucking with the ruler. Cause they be taking days off pussy niggas, Ferris Bueller.
I don't worry about no one but me, myself, and I. And Carter gon' be good as long as daddy's still alive. But just in case I die today, I promise he'll be fine. Cause my life insurance got 2 commas and he first in line.
Why the fuck you think I'm working so hard? My God, my current mission is low emissions in my garage. A Tesla Model S, 200 on the dash. And all you hear is pew. Soon as I press the gas, I'm back.